What is up, guys? It's your boy GRC. Let's go. I had a great morning. Well, I had a pretty good morning. I walked to the gas station this morning and a lady face planted, high on illicit substance. I can only assume, but I obviously didn't draw her blood. But she face planted so hard, and I was like still waking up on no caffeine yet, kind of like, rolling my shoulders out, enjoying the sun a little bit. Boom, face plant right on the ground. And she was like 70 plus years old. She was trying to get up. Her face was racked. Her arms were racked. Her legs were racked. She was irresponsive as far as talking. So, and like 150 people just like strolled by, like staring at their phone. I was like, life sucks. I'm going to try and help this girl. But basically, I just stood next to her and called the ambulance while she flailed there. And I looked like an idiot because everyone was like, should you help her? And I was like, I think she's going to fall again. But that's not the point, guys. Make sure if you see something going on in life and you feel like you can help with an honest heart, just try and help. Don't be a dick. We got a couple other things. I'm going to play this teaser, the highest of stakes updated sizzle reel. I want to see it. I haven't seen it yet. I love little trailers and stuff. And Richard's been all over it, guys. I want you to retweet this tweet. It's the best show in the goddamn world, Crypto in the Morning. And I want you to retweet that tweet and spread the word. The action that I've been getting on Twitter is I don't even read it anymore. It's like, it's really surprising, to be honest. But it's more so like you just get caught in a lot of stuff. But Twitter's been blowing up for your boy. And I'm enjoying every second of it. I've been watching more streamers lately, believe it or not, just to catch a vibe for them. And I watched that Fresh and Fit shit yesterday. Sam, I am so glad we do not talk about girls and stuff. Oh my God, what a death sentence. I would hate that life. There's nothing more than I can imagine other than sitting there and talking about weird nuance, like things that's different for everyone about chicks. And it's just like, please, God, experience that with yourself and your prayers and your friends. Please stay off the internet, everyone. That shit was gross, to be honest. I'm not saying the show wasn't good and they did what they were supposed to do, but if my girl was ever on a show like that, she would not be my girl any longer. I could promise you that. Ever. No way, dude. It's like a straight prostitution situation in Miami, but I'm not a Miami guy, so I don't really know the Miami vibe, and I know it's a little out there. So, but that's not the point. I reacted to the Fresh and Fit afterwards podcast. I couldn't even get through it, to be honest. And it was like 8 o'clock. I had an energy drink. You'd think I'd be able at least to focus on it. I couldn't. I had to skip around. I mean, I tried to make it as fun as I could, but that content to me is horrid. And I'm not talking about Myron Gaines. I'm not talking about Fresh and Fit. They're making money. They're doing a great job. It has nothing to do with that. But God, I want intellectual integrity in my life so badly. So badly, I want to learn and focus on things that I think are really important. And to me, a lot of that stuff's not so important. Yeah, so let's get into it. I'm going to play this trailer, and then I'm going to play the Crypto in the Morning. Then Sam's going to come on, and we're going to be talking about yield during a bear market. We're going to be talking about the fact that everyone keeps drawing triangles and acting like price is going to go up, but we're still in a bear market. How many triangles can you guys draw? How many triangles can Hex Tangent draw before he believes we're in a bear market? Even though the guy that they like the most called the bear market on the day, and it's been in profit every single day. So, guys, we're in a bear market. Do you understand? And what are the only things that pump in a bear market? New projects. Whoops, I slipped out. From the big man's mouth himself, the only things that pump in bear markets are new projects. New projects with product market fit pump probably harder if I had to put my investigator hat on. So, guys, that's why I'm so excited about ICOSA. Don't listen to everyone that doesn't study this shit. They'll say, I've been in the market for years. I was just listening to Trayvon talk about ICOSA. Dude didn't know one thing he was talking about. I don't care how long he's been in the market. About that in particular, he knows a lot of stuff. But I was like, when you started bringing up the ICOSA and the Hedron and the newness of it, I said, man, you got to look into this stuff. You got to be more careful. And I'm going to start doing this, guys. I'm not kidding. I'm going to write every influencer's name down on a spreadsheet, and I'm going to write everything that they shilled that went to zero. And then I'm going to remind people the reason that I like Hex so much, the reason that I'm a part of this community, it's not because I'm a Hex maxi or I give a fuck about Richard Hart. It's because I don't like things that go to zero. And there's only 3 things that don't go to zero. Pretty much. And Solana doesn't go to zero, but they'll shut it down on your ass. But you know what I'm saying, guys? So I'm just here because this is the right place to be. This is real cryptocurrency. And Sam's starting to realize that too with all these DeFi fucking gadgets that he's getting his dirty little hands on. It's incredible. Sam, did we ever think we would be doing this? Like, I didn't think we'd be doing this. This is incredible. I'm earning yield in ICOSA. I'm earning yield in Hedron in ICOSA. I'm earning yield in Hex, constant yield. Every single day clicks over at 8. And I have liquid bags, and I'm learning how to provide LP so I can have a fat liquid bag at all times. And we're just going to get more into all this stuff. Guys, let's play this promo, and then let's get to our boy, Sam Stolt. Sorry for the long intro. If you haven't retweeted this, retweet it. Sorry, I'm just going to transition here real quick. Bada boom, bada boom.
This is the opportunity of a lifetime. Yes.
No audio, Sam, I imagine. Was there audio? Yes or no? Okay.
Every scammer in the world is going to tell you something.
No audio now. There's no audio now.
History of being
There you go. There you go. Now there's audio.
So when my no,
Yeah, I think you have to not.
guys, we'll play crypto in the morning, and then we'll jump onto it right when I'm done. I got to put it on my other browser.
You already know what time it is.
Crypto in the morning,
Crypto in the morning.
crypto in the morning,
Waiting on phone.
crypto in the morning, crypto in the morning,
Ready to take notes.
crypto in the morning,
Crypto in the morning.
crypto in the morning,
Waiting on phone.
crypto in the morning, crypto in the morning.
Ready to take notes.
Smoking a blunt on my way to the gym. 11 a.m. and I'm already tuned in. Got me some hacks and I'm making a stay. Got me some heads on, I'm making it rain. Pay me some maxi and that's just in case. Jim ready sent me to show you the way.
DeFi Pro. Yeah.
Crypto in the morning,
Crypto in the morning.
crypto in the morning,
Waiting on phone.
crypto in the morning, crypto in the morning,
Ready to take notes.
crypto in the morning,
Crypto in the morning.
crypto in the morning,
Waiting on phone.
crypto in the morning, crypto in the morning.
Ready to take notes.
This is the opportunity of a lifetime. Yes, every scammer in the world is going to tell you something similar, but in this case, you are actually going to have regret.
I mean, you're scamming everyone. Richard Hart, he's got a history of being called the spam master.
There's some weird things going on with his coins.
Making one of the biggest Ponzi schemes that we have ever seen. Hex coin is 1,000%.
Just for reference, guys, I need you to stop here. This is that dating coach, that first GRC dating coach that told the guys in that first group ever I was in that told me Hex was a scam. This was him.
Which one? The guy on the left or the right?
They were both doing the course. And as you can see, they're very young at this point. They were brand new. I don't hate on them at all for this. I don't judge them for this. They were kids. They were learning. They were starting to make business. They made a lot of right calls too. Okay. But these guys weren't focused like we are. They cared more about money than the product they were putting out. And that's what happens. It's when you stop listening to your gut and you start listening to the dollar bills that are coming to your bank account. I respect both of these guys, and I hope one day they come on the show. They have said they all have fatter bags of Hex than me. Trust me, trust you me that. So don't think they missed out. They did not.
A scam coin.
Fraudsters can be anybody.
People are going to lose money because of you.
Remember all the haters that told you that I was a scammer and Hex was a scam? I got bad news for the haters. We're making new all-time highs where everything else is getting wrecked. Price is up 4,000 or 5,000 fold in 600 days.
Something my grandmother always said, there is no fast money.
I've made enough money in the last week that I could buy a house in cash.
Are you ready to look for some fraud this morning?
And so I think of blockchain as like the internet. In the 90s, everyone thought the internet was just for email.
I'm here to shell. I want to change the world, and I can only do that if people participate.
I bought some this morning.
They're imaginary quarters. Like, it's like playing Monopoly.
I put it all in. I went
Like, all what?
all over house money.
The only thing that matters in this world is goods and services. Everything else is accounting. And our made-up imaginary internet money is better than the government's made-up imaginary internet money. Both of them are only backed by the shared fiction of the humans believing that they have value.
He's put himself in this role as the Pied Piper.
If Hex is a religion, then Richard is God.
I'm in crypto for glory. I want to have the best cryptocurrency that's ever existed. I want to have the best performing asset that's ever existed.
When we're talking about vanity, it'll make them cross the line somewhere, and then that'll be a wrap.
He's like a DJ. You got to keep the party going, and as soon as people get tired, he tries to drum them up again.
This is a force that is not going to go away. The cryptocurrency is not going away. And at some point, the people that you met that you thought were crazy loon birds, they're going to be in the 1%, and they're going to be the people that own half everything.
Was that good or was that good? Sam Stolt, how are you doing this morning?
Bro, I'm doing awesome. It is a wonderful day, a beautiful day. I did my cardio this morning. That's an awesome intro there. I'm looking forward to when this video comes out.
We're going to be launch partying, the whole entire thing, because that is a top tier filmmaker. That dude could make a film about a dirt hole that made you want to cry. And Richard has a very compelling story, in my opinion. And what was that little piece that Rackham Rochelle slipped in there that you gave a little smile ear to ear about?
I just had everything, and that was
no. He said something about if you give someone that much power at some point. Like I thought that's what you were commenting on. That's Rackham Rochelle. He's a whale.
I just noticed that his has a very unique
head shape
appearance. Yeah, we'll call it.
But
this is coming from the dude with the fucking shaved cut and the
look at me.
fucking 70s mustache.
Look at this shit. I don't know. I don't even know what's going on anymore. Guys, this is Crypto in the Morning. We're live every single day at 11 a.m. Eastern. Let's get right into it. We just watched the Highest of Stakes documentary. Very emotionally compelling. But Sam, tell people about your experience real quick with ICOSA, with Hedron. It's been out for 2 days. 2 clickovers in the interest rates, in the rates and everything. So what have you seen? What have you noticed? What has your mind been playing with, just as far as what you've seen?
So still super fascinating, right? This project has just launched. My intention is to set up an ICOSA stake today, potentially. So I have a Hedron stake. I saw somebody had mentioned in the chat here that their APY had dropped substantially. That's expected. I don't know what pool that person was in. And then potentially I might also do the NFT today.
I did the NFT yesterday, and it's just a really fast way to earn yield. Really.
Has your yield dropped?
I only did it 1 day so far.
Okay.
So
has your yield for Hedron dropped?
I think it was 2 ICOSA, and to be honest, my Watson was only $200. I just didn't want to do anything crazy. I just wanted to participate, to be honest. And it was 2.1, I think, this morning underneath of it, and that was only 1 day.
In 1 day. That's 1%.
That's $4.
That's 1% return in a day. 1%.
That's really good. And I noticed that, and I put in my head, I said, in 100 days, I'm going to be very happy with this. So guys, please focus on a few things before Sam goes back to it. I defer my bottom and top calls to Richard because I haven't gotten that far into this stuff yet where I'm looking at everyone's wallets and stuff, and he has. So he's looking at all these guys' wallets. His verbiage has changed from 11K to 11K and lower. He has, over the last week, I'm telling you, I've watched him. He used to say 11K and pray, 11K and pray. Now he says 11K and lower. He says he's hedging down now. So he's getting evidence in his life that's making him hedge lower than 11K. I can tell in his very subtle verbiage, but no one wants to listen to it. No, everyone wants to hear about Icosa Moonbag forever. But I see between the lines. I love these products because they're earning yield in a bear market. I'm not fooled by price action. All these triangles need to die. They're horrible. They don't make any sense. The triangles, the breakout, the doji candles, I don't like any of it because it confuses people, Sam.
Can you talk about that a little bit? Because Richard, if you, and I'm not as close paying attention to all the details, so I'm deferring to you on this, but I mean, if you're noticing the essence, like where I would be at with Elon Musk a couple, like 7-10 months ago, where if anything was happening with the ecosystem around Tesla, like whether it was suppliers or new information coming out or there was an update, I knew that shit before the market knew that shit, like by a mile, because of the sources of information that I had. And you are saying that you have seen a subtle shift, right? Where before Richard Hart was mentioning,
he was saying 11K was the bottom, and I feel like he was thinking it was more going to be like a wick or like a day, just based on his calculations. And now he sees more downside. He's starting to notice more downside in his research. I don't know how. I defer to Richard. I do not defer to a bunch of freaking cokeheads that don't do anything. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, you need to defer to the guy in the room that's been really, 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 really solid on that if you're me, because I need to have a point of origin. You know what I mean? A little bit. And I go with him for that, for the price calls, because he's continued to be honest. And I've noticed for sure, he's finding something that's making him think 6K, 7K is totally possible.
Wow. That's, I mean, if it happens, that's a glorious day, right? Like, that would be dope as fuck. But it is interesting to notice that shift, bro. Good insights on there. I wouldn't be surprised. We've seen, I think, about a 10% drop in the price of Ethereum, right? $2,000 to like 1,800-ish today, I think. So 10% down
and
already.
ETH 2.0 holding that price up, the fake ETH 2.0 that's never going to come out, that they've been saying every quarter for years. That's, guys, another thing that I want to mention and that I've been noticing is since when did ETH 2.0 get solidified for all you guys? Since when did that? They say it's coming out in the fall. That's not specific enough for me. The fall, it's been 6 years since they wrote on that white paper that they wanted to do that. 6 years. They wrote on the original white paper that they wanted this to be the way it was. 6 years later, the price pumps in an absolute nuclear bear market, and I think it's holding up just a hair too high. I think their $900, $700, $500 ETH is totally in play if this goes down that way, because I think it's a buy the rumor, sell the news, and I don't think ETH 2.0 will launch it unless they want to launch it because there's less activity. That's a nuance that I don't know about.
Well, that would be interesting. I think that the merge is very bullish for Ethereum. When you look at like what happens with this,
it's bullish for Ethereum, but I'm just mentioning that it probably won't happen.
I don't know. It seems like they just passed another, like, it's not Rinkeby, it's another test net, but they just merged their like one version of this thing with this other thing, and that was a success. Tentatively, one of the lead developers is pointing towards mid-September, bro. That's next month.
Hey, I hope this all.
And we haven't heard. I haven't seen somebody who follows closer than me. We haven't, as of yet, seemed to hear anything to push that back to October yet. But tentatively, it still appears like it's going to. I mean, be mid-September. But there's.
I hope.
There's a.
I hope, but I've been hearing. I heard the exact same thing every single day since I've been in crypto. I swear. Since the day I got in crypto, people were telling me about ETH 2.0, the gas fees to pump the price, blah, 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 blah. And then it's just like, yeah, but how many roadblocks are there? How many more roadblocks can there be? Like, I just don't know enough. But at the same time, I just want everyone to prepare themselves overall. Even if ETH 2.0 does come out, I think we should prepare for dips. I don't think things reach new all-time highs in macro conditions like this. I just don't. I don't see it's possible. But I mean, people that are trying to capitalize on 50% gains, like, yeah, all day long. Like, that shit will happen for sure. Like, there will be 50% pumps for sure. Happens all the time. Hedron pumped 1,100% in a month. And now everyone acting like it's the sell off of the fucking year. Same thing with Pulse Surge. It's all the same shit, guys. Product market fit. Which one has better product market fit? Which one can hold through a floor?
Did you see the thing that I think is super bullish about the merge is that it's going to lock people's money up for 6 months to maybe a year. They said 6 months, right? But like clearly, as you're mentioning, who knows if that's actually going to be a year? It could be. I mean, actually 6 months. It could be longer. So that means if you have a large portion of ETH that is staked for at least a year, what does that do to supply? It drastically reduces the active supply of Ethereum. And if at some point between the merge and when we get into a bull market, there's going to be new eyeballs on there, which is going to drive up demand, which is going to drive up the price, especially when there's a drastically lower amount of Ethereum floating around. Did you see the update, talking about blockchains, did you see the update I think Richard tweeted about the other day, versus black versus white on his developers testing?
I'll pull it up right now.
So one of the ways when you're doing different things is you can test, say, GRC versus SAM, and we're just trying to test to see who can break the code. Like GRC will protect it, and I'll see if I can break it, and then I might protect it, and then he can see if he can break into it, the code somehow, or fuck it up, or destroy it, or cause mayhem on it, because then you can get a better product out there, right? If GRC can break it, then we can go through and actually fix it. And when you look at Richard Hart's tweet the other day, he was actually talking about how the developers were going back and forth on this.
Live in studio, baby. No!
No way.
Didn't he post this with diamond hands as the quote or something?
No! No! No!
Didn't he post that with the diamond hand?
Yeah, and I said diamond PP soon, right under it. Hopefully, diamond PPs are a thing in the future. But yes, let's go to the tweet.
What does he say on his tweet though? He says diamond hands, and then I think Ethereum, doesn't he?
I don't know. There's like 100,000 of these on. Everyone's just memed them. Oh no! This shit is so freaking. People are funny, man. Yeah, you never give people the respect they deserve for the funnies.
What are those two things?
I don't know. People just put everything on it. My computer's too slow to do. There's the Red Bull can. There's the what Hex when he owns a big bag of Hex. Oh god, the Hex people are the best people. Guys, it's such a good community to be in. Let's go to see if we can even find that alpha tweet that he did all the way down.
Is this on his profile?
Yeah, I forgot he's been so active lately that his whole thing is just absolutely nuked. So I don't even. Anyway, he said it's red team versus blue team. I think we can get a little bit read between the lines on that tweet because I read it too. Sorry, I just wanted to show all those splits too. They were fucking phenomenal.
No, we've also seen
red team versus blue team, kind of like they're saying that there's some guys that think one way, other guys think another way. They're trying to battle out to see who can figure out. It's like they're trying to figure out if they can break the system. So they're basically just going. It's like a game. It's like they're trying to game each other, and they're one team versus the other team. And guys, basically, he's just telling you it's going to be fucking longer. Just wait for him to tweet again. All right. I know a lot of people are upset about Pulse Chain and Pulse X, but please just defer to Richard on this one. He doesn't have to explain every nuance about everything just for you to feel comfortable. Just why don't you just earn yield in the millions of amazing ways that there are while you have a fat bag of Pulse X that you got at an extremely inflated rate, by the way. Aren't you happy that you got Hex at that inflated rate, the Pulse Chain sack, when all my Hex was 36 cents when I was sacking for that shit? So
and then you were able to sacrifice at that versus it's 5.5 cents.
I would sacrifice like $500 USD right now versus it was like 10 grand at the time.
Correct.
Seriously.
Correct. So the amount that you're getting is substantial, relatively speaking, to where we're at currently. We've also seen a sell-off in Hex. Back to the Acosa and Hedron talk for a moment. I looked at mine, so it's been 2 days. and my yield has stayed the same. I added a little bit more to the Hedron bag. So you remember you have 3 pools in Icosa. You have the Hedron pool, you have the Icosa pool, and then you have the NFT pool. So I'm only in the Hedron pool, and I earned Icosa day 1, and it gave me 90 days. That's how long I had to do it.
Mhm.
Now, I wanted to know if because when I initially started, I was a larger portion of the pool just because I got in before people with much bigger bags than me, right? So it said that I was this much percentage of the pool, and I thought that's why it put me out at 90 days. So I wanted to see what if I add some more Hedron to this
today,
and it didn't.
Yeah, no, yeah, I did the same exact thing. I was like, oh, only 90 days, and then I put more Icosa in the bag, and it went to 180 days. But again, this is all speculative for me at this point. I want to be able to work through this system. I want to be a master at this system before people even get started.
So can you talk me through your Icosa staking?
I'll tell you exactly how I did everything from start to finish. Everything, and it's easy. It's very easy if you're just focused. 20 minutes. I had 2 HSI 5555s loaded up, ready to go. I immediately dumped them the second the thing came out. I don't know if that was the right thing to do. I just did it because I wanted to. It wasn't that much. Again, we're talking like under a few $1,000s probably altogether. So I dumped that. I got my Icosa immediately. I immediately staked. No, I just left that there. I liked seeing it in the top left. I said, this is good. I'll wait for tomorrow. Tomorrow came. I staked my Icosa, and it put me in that day range. The next day came, and then I staked the rest, and I saw the day go up on that. I also have basically all my Hedron staked now. So I'm earning yield on that. And then I put $200 into the Watson NFT mint, and I earned 2 Icosa last night. And I think that was a good rate. I was happy about that rate.
So think about this just for a second, right? How crazy this is. Thank you for explaining that, because I want to set up my Icosa. But so somebody has, say, $1,000 or something like that, 5,000, 10,000, whatever that number is. They could create an HSI stake where they get to get Hedron for free. They could sell that for a Icosa. So you could take a little bit of the Icosa you get, wait 2 or 3 days, right? So you have some Hedron. Take that Hedron that you got for free, which it's not going to be much, but let me get to the point here. So you got your HSI stake of hacks plus, say, tens of thousands of Hedron, right? Not a terrible ton of money, but you get tens of thousands.
I have like $2,000 of Hedron staked, I think, or $3,000, and I think I'm earning like 500,000 or like 750,000 or 900,000 Hedron per day on that.
Wait. Can you? Because I'll get back to this point in a second. But I want to. So your Icosa, right? Your Icosa you put in is probably a couple grand ish, right? Mm-hmm. And you're earning how is 500,000?
No. Which one do you earn Hedron on? The Icosa?
Icosa.
Yeah, so I saw the Icosa because you earn Hedron and Icosa, right? Because
Yes,
I saw both of them up, and I knew that, but you got to look at all this stuff. So I'm earning I was happy with the amount of Hedron I was earning. That's all I remember. The Icosa I didn't really look at because it was like under 1 or under 2 or under something small. But I remember looking at the Hedron bag and I was like, I could live with that. I said I could live with that. I mean, 100 days, that's, it's a good amount of money with price appreciation. I really agree. So it was a good rate on the Hedron, I thought, for how much money I had put in. It was very minimal.
How long is the stake minimum for Icosa?
I think 30 days, but I think it depends on how much you put in. I think it kind of puts you automatically into and I think I was at 90 days and then I put more in and it put me to 180.
Oh, okay.
Or something of this nature. So just remember, guys, I'm going to read Amish Kid because he's got a really strong beat on this. I've been watching him. Just sale. I'm another account, so keep that bonus P. Okay, hold on. Let me go up.
Let's.
If you're a dolphin or shark, because you staked first day before most people, that's kind of what you were referring to, Sam. Like you liked your position in the pool. Just leave it. Just leave the stake. Don't add to it. If you add to it, you'll get bumped down and lose some of your yield bonus. Darn it. I
did not lose any yield bonus, and you're not allowed to adjust the day either.
Yeah, I don't know, but just stale. I'm another account, so keep the bonus. That's a 10%. I don't know. Do you lose your bonus? Because the bonus is just off the ICOSA you initially get, I thought. But again, there is a little bit more I need to learn about these pools and the exact rewards. And maybe we'll have someone on to talk about them as well. Maybe at the latter half, if anyone's in here that wants to come on, that would be cool. Tomorrow, Dip Catcher's coming on, 11 a.m. Eastern. We're going to be talking Maxi team. He wants a shot. He wants a shot at all this good ass times. He's been working in the background just like Alex. So we're going to check out his work and get a deep dive there. Make sure we're prepared.
That'll be an awesome show. Looking forward to. I always enjoy conversations with Dip Catcher. Getting back to the point, right? So if somebody has a couple grand for a Hedron or for a HSI stake, right? So you take your hacks and you stake it through Hedron.pro. You wait a couple days so you can get some like dust for Hedron, right? Now think about this conceptually though. You can take your stake and you can get ICOSA, right? You can take your HSI, sell it to the ICOSA contract. Now you have ICOSA, and you have
a good amount for the speculative price.
You can basically pull out almost all your value.
Pretty much, yeah. But there's more speculation value in my opinion, so I like it. Yeah, but yes, it's pretty much.
So you started with cash. You got hacks. You staked hacks. Now you have 2 bags, right? You didn't buy the second bag, but now you have 2 bags. You have ICOSA and you have Hedron. And you could take both of those and you could stake those in the protocol so that you could earn more on it than you would be earning in hacks, right? Because
if you think about it just from a freemium standpoint, you can do all this math in your head a little easier too. Like if I never purchased anything and I just have my original hex stakes, I would be earning yield in 3 different ways from no work of my own. 0, none, other than the 3 clicks that it took to take it over. And if you had backloaded stakes, Sam, don't get it twisted. If you had backloaded stakes, and I did, I started day 501. So you got all that Hedron 10x for the whole entire duration. So remember, there are people that claimed that, like the backloaded Hedron, and they actually earned a good amount. So imagine taking all that value and doing everything right. I wish I would have documented it like no dollars. Like I never spent $1. Let's see how fast I can get to $1 million without spending $1 or something like that. It could take a year, 5, but like you really could document that because there's never a point where you're putting money into the pool. You don't have to. You just need time.
Which is a beautiful thing. This is like very, very exciting. I was not super stimulated or excited about Hedron other than being able to draw liquidity.
843 ICOSA holders only.
Wow.
That's tiny. So
and that's the number is actually less than that. That's actually less than 843, right? Because there's plenty of people who have multiple wallets there. We know of a couple people who have multiple wallets in there. So the number is actually less than that. The information will continue to spread, and that will continue to expand, right? You have this one point here where we did the show here, and that information is proliferating or expanding throughout other people because they hear it here, then they'll share with other people. Other people are talking about it, then they're sharing this. So this is going to continue to grow and evolve over time, which it needs to. I think
this one might not have a choice.
Yeah, bring it on.
I really think but we have a special guest in the background, guys. I'm going to play the promo video just so I can get it over with for the Vegas tournament because it is coming up quick, and I'm going to use the bathroom while that's going on. Then I'm going to transition a very, very special guest onto the show. I don't want to announce him yet because there's some people that are going to be happy surprised in the chat. We have a lot of his friends in the chat here. I'm going to play this promo video real quick, and then we're going to get to it. If you have any questions, guys, about ICOSA, I'm pretty sure Vince has a pretty damn good. Damn it! I just told everyone it was Vince. Fuck. It's Crypto Vince, guys. I can't help it. KSB.TV presents the Pulse Masters Golf Tournament. We have 2 shotgun times, 7:30 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. Registration is 1 hour prior. The Concord course offers a 7,034-yard par 72 layout with Bermuda fairways and large greens. The spectator pass is $55. The individual golfer is $195. In the golf foursome, $750. Play golf, network with others, and win crypto prizes September 5th 2022, contact us at ksbtv/golf.
There he is.
What's up, guys? Hey,
Dude,
thanks for the
crypto
invite.
Vince. Real quick before we get going, because I know Sam and Vince probably haven't talked unless it was on Twitter. And I don't even think me and Vince have really talked other than me DMing him a million times and him saying, hey, I think you're doing a good job. But now we're in these Telegram groups and I'm starting to see where I'm getting more active on Telegram. And I'm starting to see you're super into all of this DeFi stuff. It seems like you really do love it. You really are all in. And you've been in Hex since, I'm assuming, very early days. And you love these products as they start to come out. I would love for you to introduce yourself, Vince, in your interaction with the community for the people that don't know you before we get started.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I was in Hex, day one. So, it's all pretty, familiar to me. Got into crypto back in 2017 and found Richard after the crash. So, yeah, I just started listening to him and, was all pumped up for Hex, before it launched. So, yeah.
And then you probably made great profits. You probably learned everything just from scratch like everyone else does. And then you see these other projects coming out and there's a lot to think about, right? You're in a different financial position. You're not the guy you were when this all started because you probably have different resources, different kind of perspective. Were you initially like, oh, this is going to be good, this is what Hex needs, this is the future? Or did you have a step back before you really started looking into some of these Maxi, Icosa, just the good products, not the crazy ones?
Yeah. It's kind of tough to kind of, assess everything, but I would say that even though Hex probably didn't need any of this other stuff, I think, it's all great because it just complements Hex in a way, and it just gives other people, more incentive to just lock stuff up for, the Quattro Cinco, and you get all this extra stuff to play with now. So, yeah, I just think it's a nice bonus on top of Hex. So, yeah.
Free money printers. Sam,
yeah, for sure.
Any questions you have for Vince? Sam, Vince, I think you watch the show a little bit, right? Here and there.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
And I appreciate that. I see in the chat from time to time. Vince is actually I don't know if I should talk about that stuff because I don't know if it matters, but you know what I mean? I don't know. Sam, do you have any questions for Vince? He's a pro. He's in this field. Anyone in the comments? I know there's a lot of conjecture in the comments. Do you know all the specifics when it comes to like yield? Like as far as, are you a little advanced with that as far as Icosa system? Have you been paying attention?
I would say Crypto Sloth and Cryptographics are probably better people to ask for like all the deep nuances about that because that stuff I'm
Well,
still
then why don't we get
so.
Sloth on to have a four-way?
That would be awesome.
Yeah, I can feel the pressure mounting on every one of us, and I feel the answers are. And
there's still so many lingering questions that people have, like as they find out. Right, you can see it in the chat here, like we're talking about it. Vince, did you get into Icosa?
Oh, absolutely! Like I aped in the first day.
805 or whatever it was.
I just kind of did a little bit of everything. I kind of knew that I was telling people that the Hedron staking pool is probably the least lucrative because everyone's got this all their free Hedron that that they've either not minted or they've just been saving up on side. So yeah, I knew people were just going to pile into that pool. So I thought the more lucrative play was to just make some HSIs and then get the liquid Icosa to stake in the other pool instead. So yeah, that's mostly what I did.
What are your thoughts on how this may or may not play out? So I think Sloth had mentioned yesterday, we talked to him briefly, where there was around 2,600 HSIs, I think he mentioned, that went through to mint Icosa.
Yeah.
So when you think about this, you have 2,600 HSIs that went through, right? You and several other people did several different HSIs, right?
Yep.
So the number of holders on that is obviously substantially less. And then what does the contract do? Well, the contract pulls, 3%, 5%, 2% of Hedron value from that stake. What I mean by that is you have a $10,000 HSI stake, and you get $50 worth of Hedron against that $10,000 stake, right?
Yeah.
So that's getting paid out to pools. But in 90 days, we have a giant liquidation event, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So 2,600 stakes, and that's going to play out over 30 days, right? I don't know how long the liquidation is, but I think it's probably 30 days. And then when you put into consideration that human nature is to be myopic, right? It takes effort and it takes practice to think more holistically and a longer time scale. And given that that is just the nature of how humans act, in my opinion, Hedron, even with this giant run-up, is still massively undervalued. Like Hedron has I'm more bullish on Hedron than I am Hex. Hex is just heavy. Hex is just fucking weighty, right? It is just what it is. Where Hedron had a massive sell-off. So there's a redistribution.
Totally oversold past the initial point.
Yeah.
Break point. Totally oversold. And Noob could have seen that.
Yeah, completely. Yeah. Yeah, there's just so much more, just in terms of like dollar appreciation potential. There's just more for Hedron really, because there's just so many zeros past the decimal still that we have to clear. So yeah, it's going to be pretty exciting to see what happens after the day 91, basically, because yeah, I mean, essentially there's no ceiling for how much Hedron can be burned that day, since hexagons will be fighting each other for all those stakes, and so we don't know how high the bidding is gonna go up, and it's gonna be pretty crazy.
Well, if my 24-hour bidding party can have anything to do with it,
you're organizing a party.
People have no idea how excited I am for that date, because I have a little bit of time to get some dry powder, and get some, because you need a little time in life just to get once you make a move, ICOSA, you put a little in. I'll get a little bit of my momentum back, get some of my things in order. Everyone's heads will start slipping, 50% dump. GRC's coming in hot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's just, come on.
Hell yeah.
What do you think that in the example I just gave, a $10,000 HSI stake where you borrow, 3% of that, which is a small fraction of it, right? And it's probably less than 3%, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that that's going to sell for close to market value?
It's tough to say. Are you saying that that the person takes out the advance, or are you talking about the contract?
Contract.
The contract.
So you have just for example, because I'm curious, because then there's the end point of the effect on Hedron, right? Because it all loops back to itself.
Yeah.
$10,000, just for example, somebody takes a $10,000 HSI stake, they put it into ICOSA contract, they mint their ICOSA. Then what does the contract do, right? It fucking advances.
It takes all the it advances all the Hedron,
and it's probably less than 1% of the value of the actual stake, right?
Yeah.
So when you think about that, there's, I mean, if you consider the value to be 5%, if you consider the value to be a fraction of 1%, I believe it's less than, I think it's around 1% or less than 1% of Hedron that's advanced. What does that mean in 90 days? In 90 days, there's going to be 2,600 plus HSIs where there was a surplus or an increase in the supply by 1 to 5%, depending on the semantics of the deals and how the prices and etc. But there's going to be a 25 to 50 to 60% increase in the amount of Hedron needed to purchase these things. People are not estimating the gargantuan amount of demand that's going to take place to swallow up these HSIs in 90 days.
Yeah.
So undervalued, like ridiculous, in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
What are your thoughts on that whole picture there?
Yeah, I mean, it's huge for Hedron, because not only does not only will we have all that Hedron burned from the auctions, but a lot of that the Hedron that's was actually advanced on is that's what's paid out to the ICOSA stakers for part of their yield. So, and a lot of them were locked up for probably like shark and whale time. So that's all Hedron that still locked up and can't be sold for like 270 days, up to a year. So, yeah, it's just a huge supply sink, and it should really help Hedron pump.
Vince, that's a fantastic point there because I
Sam,
hadn't.
tell me. I was just reading comments for a minute, but I want to know what you guys are kind of going through right there, and try to do it so maybe some people in the comments can kind of catch a beat on what we're talking about in case they missed.
So there's a gargantuan amount of supply needed of Hedron to buy back these 2,600 plus HSIs in 90 days. So I had been kind of focusing on there's a, let's call it a 3% increase or 2% increase in the supply of Hedron from the advances. But there's going to be like a 40x needed in Hedron supply to get rid of these HSIs, right? So it's a disproportionate amount there. And then Vince was going through and saying like, on top of that, you have people who stake Hedron and who stake Icosa that earn Hedron, which that amount is locked up for whether it's 90 days, 180 days, 270, 360.
Plus, there's more value to the people with it because they're earning it and they're realizing it's earnable. So it's like I want to keep my Hedron more now than I did before. I feel like,
you know what I mean? It's correct. No, you're right.
And I always try to talk from that perspective of how I feel when I'm on the keys, like when I'm doing my crypto stuff, and I'm good at like getting it out. I now feel a higher premium in my heart for everything. There's more value, there's more people, there's more fun, there's more greatness, and I have a product that is based on an actually good currency rather than the dying dollar. It's exciting to me.
And so that you're going to have two of those pieces, right? You're going to have a reduction in the supply from the Hedron pool and the Icosa pool, where funds are locked up, right? They're going to be locked up in those pools, and then that's reducing supply. And then you have a gargantuan amount relative to how much was minted of Hedron that is needed to execute against this, right? So to get rid of those HSIs, like there's going to be a boatload of Hedron that's needed to get rid of those HSIs. And that little insight, that little dichotomy between what's happening, you take into considerations people's myopic behavior. That's just short-sightedness. It's very like near-term behavior that people have. The impact over the next 3 to 6 months is going to be very positive, in my opinion, on Hedron, like massively. Yes, we could have like that dump to $600 ETH and $11,000-$12,000 BTC, and like obviously these macro factors are going to massively impact that. But when you layer all them on, Hedron would perform better. Like it's just not going to sink as much because of these other factors that are going on around with it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
That great insight.
It's a double. I always tell people to cut through all the crap in your head. This makes the floor higher for all of these products. Yeah. It just raises the floor. It doesn't stop it from dumping whatever percent. But what does Richard always say? Products with product market fit can survive 95% dips, and that's right about where they, So this is on paper, guys. This is fucking known. Like you don't have to. If the product has no product market fit and weak, limp fucking leadership and all that shit, it won't survive a 95er and hold well and do better in the next cycle. But these product market fit, what is this? We're leveraging our time now in a decentralized way with no middlemen. The amount of value there is ridiculous. No middlemen alone. You know how many middlemen I pay every day? Every fucking day, dude. I swear there's not a day that goes by where I don't get a mystery bill from someone that I don't know, and I don't feel like reading their white paper either. Like, you know what I mean? I don't want to read the mail for an hour to pay a $13 fee. I'm just going to pay it at this point, because it's just like, whatever. So you know what I mean? Like the value, the real logical, ethical, moral freaking thing that Bitcoin was trying to do is starting to happen, I think, a little bit. But not the peer-to-peer part.
That's interesting points. I like that. And Vince, what do you think of the idea? I've been saying this for months now of having a stable coin that is not linked to a dying carcass like USDC or Tether. Right? We know where the dollars go. There's no question. There's no doubt in somebody's mind that is it going to go to zero? No, it's for fucking sure going to zero, right? So
Yeah.
we already know the eventual outcome of that. So why would you create a stable coin that is also going to go to zero at some point? So the idea of a stable coin is what? If you take the stable coin as its ecosystem and you distill it down to the very essence of what it is, it's something that has reduced volatility. So fucking fuckers can be like, oh yeah, my shit's the same as it was yesterday when they wake up in the morning, right? That's all it is. So what does that mean?
More important though than you kind of gloss over. You said it right, but that's really the sentiment that people don't understand. People think stablecoin and they just don't really care because that's what they do. They transact with. But the truth is, it just doesn't fall or rise fast enough. That's why it is what it is. It can't go up or down. And then you start talking about these features, Sam, and I'm just going to let you go. It kind of keeps the price. Like you can calculate the price of ICOSA, like with a calculator. You don't need the government to have 10 meetings, 55,000 million marketing bullshits all over everywhere, wasted money, wasted wars, everything. You don't need it.
So what do you think about ICOSA or some version like this, where you have a stable coin that is stable in the sense that there's a ceiling and a floor on this to a certain degree, and maybe the ceiling and the floor are very, very tight, right? Or maybe it's more substantial, but there's still a ceiling and floor, but there's a decent range for them to go into, and ICOSA does that. I think there's a beautiful example.
Exactly.
There's another one that's coming out that has something similar to this relative to silver, I think Bank X or something. And then I see this as being the future. What are your thoughts on ICOSA as a stablecoin, or just the idea of, not using something tied to a dead carcass as a stablecoin?
Yeah, I mean, we've obviously seen a lot of those the failures of algo stable coins like Luna lately. So, I mean, it's funny that people in the telegrams I've been joking about ICOSA as a stable coin because it's holding steady at around like the $2 mark. It's
not only that, Vince, but you guys calculated it right there. The moments and days, were you telling me the calculations? I texted Sam straight up. I said, Sam, this is a real text. I said 1.68 to 2.3. I said 1.68 to 2.3. Guys, you don't have to be a genius. And I'll let Vince go, but I mean, you knew what the price was going to be, Vince, didn't you? We kind of did. You can only speculate.
Sort of, yeah. I mean, it's great because it's always the floor, the fair value price for it will always be set by the how much you get, for selling the HSI back to the contract. So it's just great to have a reference point to play off of.
And I think it's really important. I think that reference point to play off of that hasn't existed yet in crypto, in my opinion, properly. This is for the first time we're saying, hey guys, we just calculated something that didn't exist yesterday just because we knew all what's going on. And it's based on something that's actually real and functioning, and people are buying Lamborghinis with it.
But so Vince, I have a point to make on top of that. Can you talk through very simply and a little bit more in depth about what the floor is, right? Like there's essentially a bottom level which creates the stability, which is effectively a stable coin, so to speak. So can you talk about what that is, how it's factored in, like what are all the pieces of that? Because I have a point on this relative to Hedron when you're done.
I believe the price is calculated by the I think it's the previous day's burnt Hedron divided by the hex share rate, and that's basically all it is. So there's diminishing returns on how much ICOSA you can get per HSI cent, just based on the hex share price ratcheting up. So it's always going to stay stable to the compared to the share rate.
And part of the floor, if please correct me if I'm misconstruing something here. Part of the floor is going to be based upon the Hedron value, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So when we consider a stable coin, right? We've got an upper bound and then we have a lower bound. So the upper bound, if you guys are not aware, is like if you sell a $10,000 HSI and you're able to mint $14,000 with the ICOSA, that's an arbitration opportunity or opportunity where you can take your $14,000 worth of ICOSA, sell that shit in the marketplace. Now you have $14,000, create another hex stake, put it in the protocol, come out with $19,000, do the same thing, which is going to drive the price down over time. So there's the ceiling, and we just talked about the floor. And those are, I think that's really wide range. But when I'm thinking about this, there's the opportunity for those to tighten. And then where does that trend go, or how does that stable coin follow? Like, where do you follow the value there? Can you talk about this? Because I think this is fucking fascinating, and I haven't heard anybody else talk about it.
Yeah, honestly, that's something that I've been considering too. It's almost as if you could think of ICOSA as sort of Alex's take on the incentive token, maybe for for PulseX, in that it's sort of, I guess you could think of it as like a sacrificial token, in that it's sort of because the arbitrage only goes one way.
It's a dumper token.
Yeah, and then so it's a dumper token, but then it's got this failsafe where it's always tied to the hex share, right? So in theory, it's the one that should help pull the hex price up along with it.
I get it. I get what you're saying.
Think about this from a same idea, but a slightly different point of view on exactly what you just said. How I've been thinking about this, right? So it's burnt hedron divided by the T-share rate or something along those lines, right? So that's the bottom floor. But then to stack on top of the floor so that it's just above that, like intrinsic, like there's $10 here. This is what you're willing to pay for it. Is the opportunity to stake, right? The opportunity to stake there. And with ICOSA, being able to stake and earn two things, more ICOSA and more hedron. Now, instead of thinking about it from the hex standpoint, if you think about it from the hedron standpoint, then that is where you get the tightening of those bands, right? From the floor to the ceiling, you get the tightening of those because the burn rate is going to substantially skyrocket if there's any sort of like usage of this protocol. And like we already see there's some usage of 2600. If we assume that there's a marginal amount increase from here on out where people actually use this protocol of ICOSA, the inflation might turn to deflation for hedron at some future date. There's a decent chance that this is going to happen. And the when I think about this band's tightening, right? Because then you get the tighter the band, the more in people's minds the idea of a stable coin, right? If it sits there. So what is that trend going to follow over time? Because it's not going to stay pegged at $150 or $1.90 or whatever it is, right? It's going to change, but it's going to be changing based on the T-share rate and factoring on hedron. Hedron has a load of opportunity to grow here, and this could follow that rate with the T-shares.
I was watching a stream before this, and they were like, a guy who's been in the field for a long time, and he was like, they just made ICOSA to dump hedron, and I was like, dude, really?
Perfect.
A lot more than that.
No, and I swear, and
that's great though.
And it was Trayvon, and it was before this. And if Trayvon, if you're watching this, man, like I respect your opinion, but you have to be you got to look at the shit. You can't just rely on your experience in the market to understand these intimate concepts. This is new technology. You have to stay with it. And telling people stuff like that, in my opinion, is ignorant.
It is, especially talking about shit you don't know about.
And it's not like he doesn't know about it. He still probably has it and participates, but it's just about really learning the stuff before you open your mouth. And that's a lot of the problem in this community with streamers is everyone streams for so long and they lose the expectation of studying hard. Like you have to study hard when you're new. And then when you're rich and not new, you have to study hard. And it's like, it's Motley studying hard, dude. Look at this guy, how fast he's evolving. I'm evolving with new ideas. And I say that because I watch a lot of guys in his position not evolve on new ideas. They just kind of are like, yo, shit's lit, it's fine. Like, and guys like you, guys like him are just like, hey, like there's real tech shit going on here. Like, we need to pay attention. We're talking about real calculatable free money. And it's like, you gotta be able to focus and not say stuff like that. And it kind of bothered me because he said they made Icosa to dump Hedron, and he was like, "Oh, I might regret saying that in a month." And I was like, "Well, I just recorded it, so you're probably correct." You know. And I told you guys I was making a list, and it's not not a naughty list. It's just a truth list. It's a truth list with every thing that they shilled that went to zero, and then everything that GRC shilled that went to zero.
Who's Trayvon?
It's just a streamer. He's a good guy, though.
The former BitConnect show.
Yeah, well, there you go. I didn't. R.I.P.
Yeah,
Okay.
I went there.
No, well, come on. It's nobody wants to take responsibility anymore, and I'm not saying admitting it, but I'm on this channel putting myself in a position where I never have to shill garbage ever. I don't shill really anything. I just teach people how to learn. It's not. I want you guys to know how to learn. The reason all three of these fucking guys are sitting here right now is because this is the best tech in the space. Period. End of story. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I'm not saying it has the most people. I'm not saying it has the most pretty colors. I'm not saying it has the most pictures of dogs that have the most plebs attached to it. I'm saying this is where the smart motherfuckers are landing. The ones that want to talk, the ones that are on Telegram, the ones that are willing to make a difference in this world, and they want to. So it's like, that's why I know this is the place to be. There is no other place to be in crypto right now. It's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
What are you most excited about as we like move forwards here? Like, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of development happening just in this space, but across like crypto in general, there's a massive amount of development happening. What are you personally excited about?
Man, like before this, it was actual Icosa launch, but now kind of moving forward, and like, man, day 91 is what I'm looking forward to the most, because lots of hexagons will be gobbling up those HSIs, and it'll almost be like I kind of think of it as almost like time traveling in a bit, because everyone's fighting for stakes that were made like months prior. So it's almost like jumping back in time and getting hex at old share rates. So that's going to be exciting for the community to come in and scoop all those up.
And those share rates do have a premium sometimes too, like a good one, good one. Sometimes they bump, dude. Like they'll bump up 6%, 5%, 4% on a day.
And a lot of the most valuable stakes to fight over are the ones with the high the Hedron launch bonuses. So like
the 555s.
Yeah. Well, no.
Hedron X's.
The 10Xs.
The Hedrons. Yeah, the 10Xs. Yeah.
I forgot about that. That's even a smaller pool.
Because you can mint so much more Hedron off of that. So people I think will be fighting for those pretty viciously.
I was still a noob and didn't do any HSIs. I just did my stakes that I had with the 10x bonus because I didn't know what was going on yet. But still, they were just so early. Like, there's always added bonuses, but you just want to get your ass in the game. I always tell people, get your ass in the game, please. Don't think that was the time that you're going to forever lose your premium, because people do that on Hex every single day. They say, there's a dude making $1 billion on it, so I'll never make $1 off it. And I'm like, you just don't know how life is, brother. There's always a dude making $1 billion more than you on the same thing you're doing, unless you're the guy building it.
Yeah.
And it's just the truth. And it's like, that doesn't scare me anymore. I used to look at the rates of the guys that I knew and how much hex they were making per day, and I realized that doesn't matter. It makes no difference. It's about who can hold their shares and add to them and not sell out of their positions over long periods of time. Because just Vince will admit, how many millionaires have you seen run their shit to the ground that had a great product? A lot.
A lot. Yeah.
And it's all about 5% of people will capitalize on any system properly. That's always how it works. And 95% of the people will lose most of their premium in the bull market because they're clicking too many fucking buttons. But like, if everyone held their coins from Bitcoin's first day launch, the whole entire system would look so different. But that's not how life works. You know what I mean? They were buying penny Bitcoins.
Yeah, that 90 days away is going to be fascinating. What takes place over that like 91th day to 120th day. and because I'm assuming that's how long the auctions last for, but this is going to be awesome.
I hope people forget about it too. I hope they don't even know about it.
Yeah, I'm hoping they forget about it too.
I just hope everyone.
I can scoop up
That's
some
the
more.
weird part about being a streamer. It's like I'm like, now it's getting to the point where I sell all my Pulse Doge and I just see the thing go, and I'm like, oh shit, I shouldn't have said that. You know what I mean? Like, so you do have a little bit of a responsibility, like. As a streamer, to be honest, but at the same time, you really do learn that even if you scream it over the rooftops, the same people are listening that are listening in their free time. Like the people that are listening, and the people that aren't, they're just kind of listening, and that's part of the process. You got to kind of listen for a while. I think. Like I passively listened for about a year, and I think I got a lot smarter, but I didn't necessarily make or lose any money. You know what I mean? I just was like, I want to learn this shit because I know how being the best at stuff kind of goes. Like you just got to learn it all the way. Have you been watching what is your experience with providing liquidity events?
I actually provided some USDC. What was it? Hedron Hex liquidity on Uniswap prior to launch. Just to kind of rack up some fees, and it was pretty nice. So.
And you close that position?
Yeah, I closed it because I wanted to pile some of the profits to into basically that kind of funded some of my HSIs. So
I think these auctions are going to be like big payday for the Icosa platform.
Yeah, that's a great
point. What is it? What does he mean by that?
Me and Sam weren't necessarily active at all in this community when Big Payday was happening. I was very close after, but I was so new that it was like I just didn't know what was going on. Can you explain Big Payday for a couple of people in here and the experience, and then what graphics kind of just mentioned there?
Yeah, of course. So like so in the beginning of Hex, Richard designed it so that there's this little feature called the Bitcoin free claim where you could if you held Bitcoin in a wallet, you could sign a wallet from that statement to your MetaMask, kind of just proving that I own this Bitcoin, and then from that you would get basically free Hex starting at the bottom share price. So we started out at 10,000 Hex per T-share, and so that's what it was. And so like people holding Bitcoin could get free Hex that way. And basically what the Big Payday bonus was the amount of claimable Hex from the Bitcoin. The Bitcoin that wasn't claimed, that amount of Hex was basically redistributed to people that were all staked before that day. So it turned like we got a huge payout because only 3% of claimable Bitcoin was actually claimed, and so that the 97% that wasn't claimed, all that Hex was given for free to people that were staked. And so it was just a huge one-time payout in Hex history.
So what does cryptographics mean when he says this about, I think auctions are going to be like Big Payday for the Icosa platform? How is this going to affect Icosa?
I think what he's alluding to is it's because I was comparing the results of the payout from day one and day two, and I noticed that we got a lot less Icosa and Hedron from the payout from day two. So that kind of suggests that lots of people FOMO'd and piled in their HSIs on day one, and that's kind of an anomaly that we won't see like ever again, because people were just kind of FOMO hyping into the launch. And so day 91 will kind of be the largest liquidation event in Icosa's history, but we probably won't experience something like that again because people aren't like flooding the contract with HSIs anymore. It was kind of like just this one time thing during launch.
I didn't see a drop in the Hedron pool. from my yield 2 days in a row.
From what I noticed, I think we got 3/4 less payout
in your ICOSA.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. It might depend on maybe your position size or something, but
yeah, I think it's going to be a really good day for some guys that are really paying attention to score some pretty good deals. I'm so curious about what the market will look like at that time. You know, Vince, I'm going to ask, this is an important question. Vince has been in this space for a minute now, so that he'll have a good insight on this. Richard is telling us to our face every single day that there's downside and more downside to come, and nobody will believe it. Why won't anyone believe him? Why do they believe him on everything he says, except they're just like, nah. It's like with this one, he's like, but now he's saying 11K and lower. I've noticed he's mentioned 11K and lower, 11K and lower. And Sam, whenever you have to hop off, Vince, whenever you have to hop off, feel free. I'm going to stay on just for a little after whenever you guys get off. But what do you think about the market in general? I think all risk on assets are due for downward pressure if Bitcoin goes to those levels.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I was actually surprised when Richard doubled down on the 11K call on when he went on BitBoy. So I think people generally just don't believe him about that because we're kind of in this giant bull trap. So everything was still kind of going up, and I think that was kind of fueled by the ETH merge news a little bit, but who knows? Maybe after the actual merge, we might see the trapdoor actually open and just everything start to dump again. So,
do you see this merge happening?
I think the merge is going to happen on time.
Wow.
Yeah, because from what I read in the news, the last merge that they did on the testnet was successful. So, yeah, I think everything's set to go. So yeah, in terms of Bitcoin, it's really hard to call because I don't think because I think Tangent's on the Mt. Gox creditors list. So if there was any credible news about that, I think he'd kind of like share it with us. But I don't think
Tangent is a full-time bull, dude. He's a Tangent is a full-time bull. He still thinks we're in a bull market.
Yeah.
Is he just keeping the hype up? I think he is. Like he's just a hype. He's just a hype train. But
yeah,
I want people to understand like a downside risk. Like you don't want to not have any fiat.
Yeah,
you really don't want to not have any fiat. I feel like if something happens with ETH and it's a little overbought right now, just a hair maybe comparatively to Bitcoin, and it's still way better than Bitcoin, but he is telling me directly to my face every time he goes on there. He's like, bruh, like I'm not going to tell you Hex is going to go down. I'm just going to say Bitcoin's going to go down, and you can read between the lines, like you know what I mean. And then everyone's like, nah, but that's why I like ICOSA so much because I really do feel like it's brand new and it has upside potential right now. I really do think it has 10x upside potential in the short term.
For sure, yeah. Along that, well, yeah. So basically, we don't have a set date for when the Gox coins are going to come out. So yeah. So there's still a lot of uncertainty there. But another thing to think about with that I don't think enough people are talking about is that a big hedge fund called Fortress, they actually a couple of years ago they started actually buying up people's settlements, individual settlements with the claim. So yeah, they're essentially kind of like hoarding other people's Bitcoin tied to that case. So I'm not exactly sure how much, but since they're a huge hedge fund, it's reasonable to assume that once they get the Bitcoin, they're not going to dump it immediately. They're going to probably hodl it until the next bull run. So that could potentially dampen the sell pressure that comes from the coins coming out. So.
Fascinating, very interesting insight there.
I think this is a good time to wrap up with the boys. I don't want to put too much pressure on you guys. I'm going to stay on just for I got some shills and some stuff I got to run through.
Place,
Vince, I appreciate everything you do in this community very
Thanks,
much. and I
man.
hope
You
know
guys
that.
too.
I really do. Like, there's not that many guys that I really appreciate what they're doing, and I think they're doing it from a good angle. You know, everyone wants to have money. That's not what this is, but it's about being honest when you can and just being a good person. And I think you and Motley and a lot of these guys that have been here since day one, I've just been amazing role models for a lot of us. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
Appreciate that. Sam, are you also signing off? I assume.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm going to transition them out, guys, and we're going to do a little shilly pilly willy willy boo boos and talk about some more crypto stuff, guys. Have a great day, guys. I'll talk to you soon.
Take care.
Oh my gosh, guys. I am so excited for this bear market, to be honest. This is an opportunity of a lifetime. You have to be a trader to believe our age. Like I don't know about trader. Everyone's a trader in crypto. You got to at some point. If you have liquid funds, you got to move it. Is that just moving funds? Would that be trading? I want to talk about real quick. The golf tournament is coming up. Okay, very quickly. Everyone's pumped as fuck. Okay. I'm going to be there. I'm getting invited to parties on parties on parties on concerts on parties on top of golf tournaments. I'll be streaming from there. It's going to be lit as fuck. Here's the promo video, guys. I want to know if you're going. I want to know if you're on the fence. And I want to know if you're not going at all. And that's okay. I'm not much of a golfer. I'm here to party, baby. So guys, Vegas, let me know if you're going. Let me know if you'll be there in the comments right now. Let's play the promo again. KSB.TV presents the Pulse Masters Golf Tournament. We have 2 shotgun times, 7:30 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. Registration is 1 hour prior. The Concord course offers a 7,034-yard par 72 layout with Bermuda fairways and large greens. The spectator pass is $55. The individual golfer is $195. In the golf foursome, $750. Play Golf Network with others and win crypto prizes. September 5th, 2022. Contact us at ksbtv/golf. That's going to be a good time, guys. What an amazing episode. I've been following crypto events for a long time now, and talking to him was great. And the future is so bright, guys. The future is so bright. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. I'll probably be popping on for a stream in a bit, in a little. There's a couple things that I'm looking at. Maxi team, maybe I'll get inspired to do a full episode on that. We have Dip Catcher coming on in the morning, guys. I don't know when we're doing the episode for DeFi Proof with the LP stuff yet. Everyone's asking for it, and I'm just not answering. So we'll get to that shortly, guys. I'm live every single day at 11 a.m. Eastern. Follow me, TikTok, all that stuff. I'll be posting. I'll be getting at it. Have a great day, guys.
Young folks, you tripping on them motherfucker. Richard Hart. Richard Hart.
Bought my hex from the fucking start. Point one everything we mark. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hairy start. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. By my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hairy start. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Checking my MetaMask moving. Look at the hex, he is mooning. Looking at why they be choosing. Peter is why they be losing. Pro chains out, now get me a check. He's gas up and it got me a mess. Remember the times he died collect. Hex I me eating, I'm dying in the best. Getting this back like a year ago. Getting this post, I ain't letting go. Swerving the ring like a Lambo. Getting this back like a year ago. Getting this post, I ain't letting go. Swerving the ring like a Lambo. By my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hairy start. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. By my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had